Namaskar students. Hope you are hale and hearty, taking care of your health and your studies. My name is Jyotsna and I am from Education Department, Chandigarh. We all know that an economy is divided into three major sectors. Agriculture and all other activities associated with it are a part of primary sector. Industries form secondary sector and services form the tertiary sector. If agriculture is known as the backbone of an economy, then the industries are heart and soul out of it. That's what we are going to discuss today as well. We are going to take up chapter number 6, Manufacturing Industries, from the book Contemporary India Part 2 of grade 10. So without wasting any time, let's get going. Production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. Do you know that paper is manufactured from wood, sugar from sugarcane, iron and steel from iron ore, and aluminium from bauxite? The clothes which we wear are manufactured from yarn, and yarn itself is an industrial product. People employed in secondary activities manufacture the primary material into finished goods. The workers employed in steel factories, car, breweries, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall into this category. The economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. Let's take up the importance of manufacturing. So, manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development in general and economic development in particular, mainly because manufacturing industries not only help in modernizing agriculture, which forms the backbone of our economy, they also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sector. The industrial development is a precondition for eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. This was the main philosophy behind public sector industries and joint sector ventures in India. It was also aimed at bringing down regional disparities by establishing industries in tribal and backward areas. The export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. Countries that transform their raw material into a wide variety of finished goods of higher value are prosperous. India's prosperity lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries as quickly as possible. So, what is the contribution of industry to the national economy? Over the last 2 decades, the share of manufacturing sector has stagnated at 17% of GDP out of total of 27% for the industry, which includes 10% for mining, quarrying, electricity and gas. This is much lower in comparison to some East Asian economies where it is 25 to 35%. The trend of growth rate in manufacturing over the last decade has been around 7% per annum. The desired growth rate over the next decade is 12%. Since 2003, manufacturing is once again growing at rate of 9 to 10% per annum. With appropriate policy interventions by the government and renewed efforts by the industry to improve productivity, economists predict that manufacturing can achieve its target over the next decade. The National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council (NMCC) has been set up with this objective. The concept of industrial location plays a very vital role. Why? Because industrial locations are complex in nature. These are influenced by availability of raw material, labor, capital, power and market, etc. It is rarely possible to find all these factors available at one place. Consequently, manufacturing activity tends to locate at the most appropriate place where all the factors of industrial location are either available or it can be arranged at lower cost. So after an industrial activity starts, urbanization follows. Sometimes industries are located in or near the cities. Thus, industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Cities provide markets and also provide services such as banking, insurance, transport, labor, consultants and financial advice to the industry. Many industries tend to come together to make use of the advantages offered by the urban centers known as agglomeration economies. Now, gradually a large industrial agglomeration takes place. The key to decision of factory location is the least cost. Government policies and specialized labor also influence the location of the industry. Now let's focus on the classification of industries. So industries are classified on the basis of source of raw materials used. Under this we have agro-based industries, in which we have cotton, woolen, jute, silk textile, rubber and sugar, tea, coffee and edible oil. After the agro-based we have mineral-based, in which we have iron and steel, cement, aluminium, machine tools and petrochemicals. From the industries based on raw material, we now focus on the industries who are constituted on the basis of their main role. Now what is their role? It is like basic or key industries which supply their products or raw materials to manufacture other goods. For example, iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting. In the same group, we have consumer industries that produce goods for direct use by the consumers, which constitute sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machines, fans, etc. The industries are also classified on the basis of capital investment. We have small scale industries, we have large scale industries. The idea to clarify ourselves with the small scale industry is very simple. That small scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. This limit has changed over a period of time. At present, the maximum investment allowed is rupees 1 crore. Now, there are certain industries based on the ownership. Under the ownership, we have 4 industries like public sector industries, private sector industries, joint sector industries and cooperative sector industries. First and foremost, let's take up the public sector industries. These are the industries which are owned and operated by government agencies like BHEL and SAIL. Along with that, we have private sector industries which are owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals like TISCO, Bajaj Auto Limited and Dabur Industries. Then we have joint sector industries which are jointly run by the state and individuals or a group of individuals like Oil India Limited. It is jointly owned by public and private sector. Then we have cooperative sector industries which are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers or both. They pool in the resources and share the profits or losses proportionately, such as the sugar industry in Maharashtra, the coir industry in Kerala. Last but not least are the industries based on the bulk and weight of the raw material and finished goods. Heavy industries such as iron and steel, light industries that use light raw materials and produce light goods such as electrical industries. Now, from the broader prospect, let's shift our focus onto the industries in the very narrow way. Like, let's talk about the agro-based industries first. Under this, we have cotton, jute, silk, woolen textile, sugar and edible oil, etc. industries which are based on agricultural raw material. The textile industry, when we talk about it, the textile industry occupies unique position in Indian economy because it contributes significantly to the industrial production, around 14%. The employment generation is around 35 million persons, which is second largest after agriculture. Its foreign exchange earnings are also very high at 24.6%. The contribution of textile industry towards the GDP is 4%. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain. By value chain, we mean from raw material to the highest value added products. The textile industry is further classified into cotton textiles. Talking about the cotton textiles, in ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving technique. After the 18th century, power looms came into use. Our traditional industries suffered setback during the colonial period because they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. As on 30th November 2011, there were around 1946 cotton and human-made fiber textile mills in the country. Not to forget that the first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. In the early years, the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belts of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Due to the availability of raw cotton, market, transport, including accessible port facilities, labor, moist climate, etc. It all contributed towards its localization. This industry has close links with the agriculture and provides a living to farmers, cotton ball pluckers and workers engaged in ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, packaging, tailoring and sewing. The industry, by creating demand, supports many other industries such as chemical and dyes, mill stores, packaging materials and engineering works. While spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills and designing of weaving in cotton, silk, zari embroidery, etc. India has a world-class production in spinning, but weaving supplies low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country. Weaving is done by hand loom, power loom and in the mills. The hand-spun khadi provides large-scale employment to weavers in their homes as a cottage industry. The weaving, knitting and processing units cannot use much of the high-quality yarn that is produced in the country. There are some large and modern factories in these segments, but most of the production is in fragmented small units which cater to the local market. This mismatch is a major drawback for the industry. As a result, many of our spinners export cotton yarn while garment manufacturers have to import the fabric. The major problem with this sector is the power supply, which is erratic, and machinery needs to be upgraded in the weaving and processing sectors in particular. Other problems are the low output of labor and stiff competition with the synthetic fiber industry. From cotton textiles, let's focus on to the jute textiles. India is the largest producer of raw jute and jute goods and stands at second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. There were about 80 jute mills in India in 2010 and 11. Most of these are located in West Bengal, mainly along the banks of the Hooghly River in a narrow belt of 98 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. It must be kept in mind that first jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1859 at Rishra. After partition in 1947, the jute mills remained in India, but 3/4 of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh, which was at that point East Pakistan. So factors responsible for their location in the Hooghly Basin are proximity of the jute producing areas, inexpensive water transport supported by good network of railway, roadways and waterways to facilitate movement of raw material to the mills, abundant water for processing raw jute, cheap labor from West Bengal and adjoining states of Bihar, Orissa and Uttar Pradesh. Kolkata, as a large urban center, provides banking, insurance and port facilities for the export of the jute goods. The challenges faced by the industry includes stiff competition in the international market from synthetic substitutes and from other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt and Thailand. However, the internal demand has been on increase due to the government policy of mandatory use of jute packaging. To stimulate demand, the products need to be diversified. In 2005, National Jute Policy was formulated with the objective of increasing productivity, improving quality, ensuring good prices to the jute farmers and enhancing the yield per hectare. The main markets are USA, Canada, Russia, Saudi Arabia, UK and Australia. The growing global concern for environment-friendly biodegradable materials has once again opened the opportunity for jute products. From jute, let's focus our attention towards the sugar industry. India stands second as a world producer of sugar but occupies the first place in the production of gur and khandsal. The raw material used in the industry is bulky and in haulage its sucrose content reduces. In recent years, there is tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western states, especially in Maharashtra. This is because the cane produced here has a high sucrose content. The cooler climate also ensures a longer crushing season. Moreover, the cooperatives are more successful in these states. Major challenges include the seasonal nature of the industry, old and inefficient methods of production, transport delay in reaching cane to the factories. Now let's talk about the mineral-based industries. Industries that use minerals and metals as raw materials are called mineral-based industries. Let's talk about iron and steel industry. First and foremost, the iron and steel industry is the basic industry since all the other industries, heavy, medium and light, depend on it for their machinery. Steel is needed to manufacture a variety of engineering goods, construction material, defense, medical, telephonic, scientific equipment and a variety of consumer goods. Production and consumption of steel is often regarded as index of country's development. Iron and steel is a heavy industry because all the raw material as well as finished goods are heavy and bulky, entailing heavy transportation costs. Most of the public sector undertakings market their steel through Steel Authority of India Limited, known as SAIL. In the 1950s, China and India produced almost the same quantity of steel. Today, China is the largest producer of steel. China is also the world's largest consumer of the steel. In 2004, India was the largest exporter of steel, which accounted for 2.25% of the global steel trade. Chota Nagpur Plateau region has the maximum concentration of iron and steel industries. It is largely because of the relative advantage this region has for the development of this industry. These include low cost of iron ore, high grade raw material in proximity, cheap labor and vast growth potential in the home market. Though India is an important iron and steel producing country in the world, yet we are not able to perform to our full potential largely due to high cost and limited availability of coking coal, lower productivity of labor, irregular power supply of energy and poor infrastructure. We also import good quality steel from other countries. However, the overall production of steel is sufficient to meet our domestic demand. Liberalization and foreign direct investment have given a boost to the industry. With the efforts of private entrepreneurs, there is a need to allocate resources for research and development to produce steel more competitively. Let's talk about aluminium smelting now. Aluminium smelting is the second most important metallurgical industry in India. It is light, resistant to corrosion, a good conductor of heat, malleable and becomes strong when it is mixed with other metals. It is used to manufacture aircraft, utensils and wires. It has gained popularity as a substitute of steel, copper, zinc and lead in a number of industries. Aluminium smelting plants in country are located in Odisha, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Bauxite, the raw material used in the smelters, is a very bulky, dark reddish colored rock. Regular supply of electricity and an assured source of raw material at minimum cost are the two prime factors for the location of this industry. Now let's talk about the chemical industries. The chemical industry in India is fast growing and diversifying. It comprises both large and small scale manufacturing units. Rapid growth has been recorded in both inorganic and organic sectors. Inorganic chemicals include sulfuric acid, used to manufacture fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesives, paints and dye stuff. Nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash, which are used to make glass, soaps and detergents, and caustic soda. These industries are widely spread over the country. Let's talk about the fertilizer industry first and foremost. The fertilizer industry is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers, mainly urea, phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphate, and complex fertilizers which have a combination of nitrogen, phosphate and potash. The third, potash, is entirely imported as the country does not have any reserves of commercially usable potash or potassium compounds in any form. India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer. There are 57 fertilizer units manufacturing nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizers. At present, there are 10 public sector undertakings and 1 in the cooperative sector at Hazira in Gujarat under the Fertilizer Corporation of India. After the Green Revolution, the industry expanded to several other parts of the country: Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Kerala, which contributed towards half the fertilizer production. Other significant producers are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, Maharashtra, Assam, West Bengal, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. From chemicals, let's talk about the cement industry. Cement is essential for construction activities such as building houses, factories, bridges, roads, airports, dams and for other commercial establishments. The industry requires bulky and heavy raw materials like limestone, silica, alumina and gypsum. Coal and electric power are needed apart from rail transportation. With the improvement in the quality, it has found the produce a readily available market in East Asia, Middle East, Africa and South Asia, apart from a large demand within the country. This industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. Efforts are being made to generate adequate domestic demand and supply in order to sustain this industry. After the cement, we have automobile industry. Automobiles provide vehicle for quick transport of goods, services and passengers. Trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, three-wheelers and multi-utility vehicles are manufactured in India at various centers. The industry is located around Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur and Bengaluru. Now we talk about the most recent one, information technology and electronics industry. The electronics industry covers a wide range of products from transistors set to televisions, telephones, cellular telecom, pagers, telephone exchange, radars, computers and many other equipments required by the telecommunication industry. Bangalore has emerged as the electronic capital of India. Other important centers for electronic goods are Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow and Coimbatore. The major industry concentration is at Bangalore, Noida, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad and Pune. A major impact of this industry has been on employment generation. It is encouraging to know that 30% of the people employed in the sector are women. This industry has been a major foreign exchange earner in the last 2 or 3 years because of its fast growing business processes outsourcing, well known as BPO sector. The continuing growth in the hardware and software is the key to the success of IT industry in India. Now, the major concern with the industrial sector is the pollution and environmental degradation. So, although industries contribute significantly to India's economic growth and development, the increase in pollution of land, water, air, noise and resulting degradation of environment that they have caused cannot be overlooked. Industries are responsible for 4 types of pollution: air, water, land and noise. Talking about the air pollution, it is caused by the presence of high proportion of undesirable gases such as sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Airborne particulates materials contain both solid and liquid particles like dust, sprays, mist and smoke. Smoke is emitted by chemical and paper factories, brick kilns and refineries and smelting plants, and burning of fossil fuels in big and small factories that ignore pollution norms. Toxic gas leak can be very hazardous with long-term effects. I hope we all remember the Bhopal gas tragedy that occurred. The air pollution adversely affects human health, animals, plants, buildings and the atmosphere as a whole. From here, let's talk about the water pollution. Water pollution is caused by the organic and inorganic industrial waste and effluent discharge into the rivers. The main culprits in this regard are paper, pulp, chemical, textile and dyeing, petroleum refineries, tanneries and electroplating industries that let out dyes, detergents, acids, salts, and heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticides, fertilizers, synthetic chemicals with carbon, plastics, and rubber, etc., into the water bodies. Fly ash, phosphogypsum, and iron and steel slags are the major solid wastes in India. From water, let's talk about the thermal pollution. The thermal pollution of water occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plant is drained into the rivers and ponds before cooling. So how does it affect the aquatic life? So waste from the nuclear power plant, nuclear and weapon production facilities cause cancers, birth defects and miscarriages. Soil and water pollution are closely related. Dumping of waste, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, packaging, salts and garbage renders the soil useless. Now let's talk about noise pollution. Noise pollution not only results in irritation and anger, it can also cause hearing impairment, increased heart rate and blood pressure among the physiological effects. Unwanted sound is an irritant and a source of stress. Industrial and construction activities, machinery, factory equipment, generators, saws and pneumatic and electric drills also make a lot of noise. So how do we control this environmental degradation? So every liter of waste water discharged by our industry pollutes 8 times the quantity of fresh water. Now the suggestions by which it can be reduced are as follows. It can be done by minimizing use water for processing by reusing and recycling it in 2 or more successive stages. Harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements. Then treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers and ponds. Treatment of industrial effluents can be done in 3 phases. Primary treatment by mechanical means. This involves screening, grinding, flocculation and sedimentation. Secondary treatment by biological process. Tertiary treatment by biological, chemical and physical processes. This involves recycling of wastewater. So overdrawing of groundwater reserves by industry where there is a threat to groundwater resources also needs to be regulated legally. Particulate matters in the air can be reduced by fitting smoke stacks to factories with electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, scrubbers and inertial separators. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in the factories. Machinery and equipment can be used and generators should be fitted with silencers. Almost all machinery can be redesigned to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise. Noise absorbing material may be used apart from personal use of earplugs and earphones. The challenge of sustainable development requires integration of economic development with environmental concerns. NTPC shows the way. NTPC is a major power providing corporation in India. It has ISO certification for EMS. By EMS, we mean Environment Management System 14001. The corporation has a proactive approach for preserving the natural environment and resources like water, oil, and gas, along with fuels in places where it is setting up power plants. This has been possible through, first and foremost, the optimum utilization of equipment, adopting latest techniques and upgrading existing equipment. Then, minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization. The next point they keep in mind is providing green belts for nurturing ecological balance and addressing the question of special purpose vehicle for afforestation. Then reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management, ash water recycling system and liquid waste management. Ecological monitoring, reviews and online database management for all its power stations. So let's try to analyze what we have learned out of today's session. On your screens, you have certain statements or questions. Along with that, you have 4 options. You have to pick the correct option. So without wasting any time, let's get going. Sugar is an example of agro-based industries, mineral-based industry, primary activity or none of the above? Sugar is an example of agro-based industries. The first successful textile mill was established in 1854, 1860, 1889, 1900. The first successful textile mill was established in 1854. In India, when was the first jute mill established? 1863, 1855, 1851 or 1860? The correct answer is 1855. The largest producer of steel is China, India, USA or Brazil? Yes, the largest producer of steel is China. Make in India is a sincere effort made on the part of Government of India to strengthen the manufacturing industries. We sincerely hope that India achieves greater heights and becomes a global leader in the manufacturing sector. With this, we sign off today's session. We'll be back with many more videos. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Namaskar.